Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Your Turn with Cliff Wooders here on Comcast 90 and 91, Digital TV 33, and as well online at www.tv33whbr.com. You can also catch us on our mobile app. Just go to your Google Play Store or your iTunes Store on your iPhone. Download it. Well, first you got to look for it. Look for the WHPR Now app. Download it to any of your mobile devices, be it a cell phone or a tablet, to those devices, and you can take us along with you wherever you go, whenever you want. You're no longer limited to sitting at home and watching us on TV. Take us along the road if you're going outside the backyard. You know, this is barbecue grilling season, and I'm going to have this wonderful conversation with this young lady sitting next to me. Her name is Amber Netter. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Thou art great. How art thou?
Church is tomorrow. Okay.
What's wrong with old English?
You're getting in practice.
What's wrong with old English?
Well, you're not old. See, this is going to be an enjoyable hour already.
Well, the language that we speak is.
Okay, and where are we going to go from here? I want to let you know that Your Turn with Cliff Wooders, as always, is sponsored by the Detroit Law Center. For all of your legal needs, give the Detroit Law Center a call, 313-333-4975. For criminal, family, bankruptcy, civil, and personal injury, give the Detroit Law Center a call. We'll take care of your needs promptly and on the spot. We're going to have a great conversation with my friend Amber, who just decided to stop by, and we're going to have a delightful chat about all things. In fact, this might be just a potpourri of conversation. I wasn't with you last week, and in fact, a gentleman who was watching the rerun yesterday gave me a call. Thanks a lot for reaching out, and for all of the listeners and viewers out there, I want to express my appreciation. If you want to join in on the discussion and the fun, 313-868-4336, 868-0342, and 868-0351 are the call-in numbers. So, Amber, how have you been? What have you been up to?
I've been pretty good. I'm actually starting to speed up and get a little busy since I relocated back home to Michigan. So I'm enjoying that. I think I'm still going through like the transition process, like okay, back home to Michigan. This is what it is.
And you went to where? Tennessee?
Nashville, Tennessee.
I love Nashville.
I love it too. I love to visit. I don't think I'll love to live there.
It's one of those towns where it's large enough to have a large town, big city feel, because there are there's always plenty to do.
Always things
all
to
your
do.
major shopping, education, universities are there, but it still has such a small town feel too.
It does. And I think that's the one thing that conflicts with it, because I think the city itself, those that are like native Nashville, residents, those are the people that are still trying to keep that small city feel. And then you have so many people, it's become like this melting pot. So there's like, I think they said it's up to like, I want to say almost 30 families move there per day. That's just how rapid it is. It's crazy how, like, I lived there when I first moved there. It was in 2012. It was like crickets at night. Nothing was happening. It was so like just rained down. It was still a small town. And then all of a sudden, about 2016 to 2017, something changed. All of a sudden,
What do you think it was?
it's developed. Like, and it's almost, I will be honest, I believe it's overdeveloped. I don't think that they have planned out a proper infrastructure there. Let's just like take the first thing, transportation. It's awkward there. Their bus systems are not made for as much of the development that they have made, and then
hang on with that for a second though. Now, it's interesting. You're saying transportation is awkward there.
Yeah.
We know how Detroit's is just a mess. We see how the region can't get together.
That's
Oakland
true.
and Macomb are always fighting
Always
against
at each
Detroit.
other.
There's a racial undercurrent there, although
true.
the suburban leaders swear up and down it's not.
Yes.
But yet, you're saying that they're reporting 29 to 30 families moving in per day.
Yes.
What do you think would enable Detroit to have that? You're saying that Nashville is undergoing redevelopment, so is Detroit.
Yes.
You came, so now we need 29 more.
Yeah.
What do you think the difference is between Nashville and Detroit's research? Because how long were you gone?
About what, in 2012? So right at about good 6 years.
Okay. So what do you see the difference between Nashville's redevelopment and Detroit's?
I think Detroit is slowly progressing, and I think that's because due to like caution. I think that Detroit is being trying to be a little bit smarter with how they redevelop, bringing in companies that would matter, that would impact our city on a positive note. In Nashville, on the other hand, it's more about the money. So they're bringing in companies and like these residential developers like day and night, and they're building at least 50% more of the housing than they are for like business. So the money right now is truly coming from housing development, but there's no freeways like that. There's two main highways there. There's nothing but mountains. You got houses stacked on top of the freeways, literally. So there's no way to expand. And their traffic it's pretty much it's up there with like Chicago and LA. I think Nashville and Atlanta are right at the same now. Like it's definitely a 2-hour traffic deal. Like there's never a time when you're not creeping.
Well, that's to be said almost with every other major city in this country, and I say it over and over again whenever I leave, go somewhere else. Whatever you say about Detroit, our freeway system is the best in the country.
It's the best in the country. We can get to wherever we need to get to. There are 1,000 different options.
We might need a wheel alignment once we get there.
You're definitely going to need that.
But it's the best
some better insurance.
freeways.
Yes. Yes, child.
Better insurance.
You need better insurance. Thank God for this new city.
And roads.
The city mayor of Detroit.
Well, that's interesting. You are for what Mayor Duggan is talking about in terms of insurance.
As far as from what I know. Now, obviously, I just moved back home, so I'm only getting bits and pieces. And so from what I still have not gone into any of the details, so I truly feel like my opinion to say that I agree the least was hearsay. So it was something that was told for me, and I haven't done any research. So I'm only saying if it's what I heard, then I kind of support it, but I want to know a little bit more about it. Kind of like when they were talking about, when Obama was talking about Obamacare and Affordable Care Act. I was for it, but I still wanted to know the details of how it's going to affect my day-to-day.
Well, the bill, I think it's House Bill 5013 that he has in Lansing right now that was introduced by one of the legislators.
Okay.
It removes the mandatory unlimited personal injury protection. It then allows people to have choice. You can still have the unlimited, but you can buy $500,000 policy, $250,000 policy. Yeah. And have you seen those signs along the freeways that says, "Thanks, Lansing. My insurance in Grosse Pointe is this. My insurance in Detroit is this.
No.
Or my insurance in Cleveland is this. My insurance in Warren is this."
No.
Yeah, those signs, some people are saying those signs are really effective. And for the folks of you who are watching the program, we're live right now. Today is June 16th, 2018. We're live in the studio, so this is not a rerun. We want you to weigh in on that. What do you think? Do you think those signs have been effective? If you've seen them in your day-to-day travels, and what they're really trying to do is get the legislators, especially the Democratic ones who did not vote for Mayor Duggan's plan in Lansing during the last session, to get on board in the new session. Do you feel that we should have choice in unlimited personal injury protection? And that's one of the things, and now I've got to put my campaign hat on.
Okay.
So, for those of you who are in the 5th District in Representative Fred Durhall's seat, I have to show you my campaign card. There it is. I am running for state representative this cycle in District number 5. And that's one of the things that I'm going to focus on when I go to Lansing in January, is the insurance aspect.
Amen.
Michigan is the only, did you know that Michigan is the only state in the nation that has unlimited personal injury protection?
Mandatory.
Mandatory, yeah.
Yes, I did. I found that out when I moved to Nashville, and literally my insurance there is about 75% less. Now, it's like a quarter on a dollar.
Now, and this is
for the same coverage.
And this is one of the things that folk, I don't think, fully understand.
And pardon me, they cover potholes there.
No, Domino's is filling the potholes. Did you guys see that story in the newspaper? Domino's,
yes, I did see that.
Making sure that their pizzas don't get damaged on delivery.
That's a shame.
Fixing potholes in Connecticut.
That's a shame.
In Georgia. I didn't realize Georgia had any potholes. Domino's is headquartered in Ann Arbor. Can't they start in Michigan first? There, I said it. But going back to what you were talking about, you moved from Michigan to Tennessee, saw a 75% reduction in your insurance.
I did. Firsthand.
Tell me how many nights you stayed awake worrying that you were going to get into a car accident and need that unlimited coverage.
Ooh. Well,
0.
I don't think it ever popped in my head. However, because Nashville, Tennessee, to have such a low insurance rate, the amount of accidents is unheard of. I couldn't believe it. It's night and day compared to the city.
Well,
of Detroit. I mean,
Southern
it's
people
night
can't
and day.
drive anyway.
So I didn't understand why the rates were
I'm gonna
extremely
get in trouble.
low.
I said that.
You know, I didn't understand why the rates would be so low in Nashville, and they have like these ridiculous amount of at least 6 to 10, accidents in the same area on the same freeway. It'll be backed up, and as soon as you get past that, there's another one.
Hold on. There are those same issues pretty much everywhere. There was a study in the Free Press, I think about 2 or 3 months ago, where they looked at the most dangerous intersections in Southeast Michigan.
Okay.
I think number 1, if it wasn't in the first, it was in the top 3. Telegraph 12 Mile.
Oh, yeah.
That intersection right there.
That's a deadly
There was
area.
another one,
Yeah.
Big Beaver, and I'm sorry, not Big Beaver. Yeah, no, Big Beaver was on the list. Big Beaver and Woosdward, I think. And then Metropolitan Parkway, because it's called Metropolitan Parkway in Macomb County.
Yeah, I got it.
Metropolitan Parkway and Mound Road. These major intersections where
across that area
each
every
street
day.
is 4 to 6 lanes. And so Nashville is probably
They're a
very
two-lane
similar.
area. They're 2-lane. They are 2-lane cities. It's not many that you can
But it's
do.
high traffic, I'm sure, probably.
It'd be no traffic at all, and somebody is somehow in an accident.
Speeding through the intersection.
It has been known that many have been idling and gotten into accidents.
How do you... never mind.
Listen, I'm telling you real life stories. So I was more concerned about having the highest amount of insurance there because I was so concerned with, oh my God, I don't know when my day may come. And plus, I do ride motorcycles, so I was even more concerned riding motorcycles there. But it's the weirdest thing that I felt the most unsafe there, driving, than I did up here. And yet the cost of insurance, I had greater risk of an accident there than I did here. I mean, the twists and the turns, you're going around these mountains, up and down hills, you have no view. And you get people that are, they like to play chicken and like cut and drive on the other lane to cut past someone. And lots of times it was fatal accidents of, front end collisions. And you never know when that day might come. Like it's a random thing. And so to have so many like obstacles to stay safe there. And I'm paying $0.25 on a dollar for insurance. And up here, we're not minimized to just these tiny little roads to get from point A to point B. There's 1,000 other ways you can get there. And yet our insurance is like ridiculously high here.
Yeah, well...
And they cover less.
Now, with respect to some of the things that you liked about that plan, you do realize that the insurance carriers here will still be able to discriminate based on zip code, discriminate based on educational achievement. So those factors are not banned in that bill, and that's what gives me some concern.
I agree.
Now, is the bill a good start? I would say it is.
I think so.
I don't see many people from Ohio or Indiana or from Wisconsin trying to drive to Michigan, or trying to rather move to Michigan so they can get unlimited coverage.
No.
They're not. These people are surviving just
That's true.
fine without unlimited coverage. When I meet with community groups out in the district, one of the things that I tell them is that unlimited PIP is very much like Social Security and Medicare here in Michigan.
Yep.
This is my right. I've had it all these years. You ain't taking it away from me. I know I might not need it, but I want it. So, no.
It's the perfect just in case.
It is. It is. But I don't think it would be missed, and a lot of people and have health insurance that would cover it. One of the other things that's
That is
somewhat
true.
disconcerting is the fact that when you look at the cost of an MRI, if you get into, let me start from the other side. If you go to the hospital, you're sick,
Okay.
and the doctor says, Miss Nutter, we need to run an MRI,
Okay.
and you say, okay, they'll bill Blue Cross $400. But if you wrap your car around a tree and they need an MRI done, they will bill AAA $3,000
Oh my
for
God.
that same MRI.
I did not know that.
That's significantly why our insurance is much higher here, because it's unlimited. They can stick you with all sorts of costs. My friend Karen Dumas, and I hope she doesn't mind me relating this story, she got into a car accident about 2 weeks ago. And she was shaken up a bit, so she was taken over to an undisclosed hospital. I promise I wouldn't tell Karen, even though you're out. I won't put that out there. But she was taken to the hospital.
Okay.
And they kept her for days.
Why?
And they ran test after test after test after test. Why? Because she had AAA car insurance.
I'm telling
And
you.
they could run those tests,
Yep.
get paid for those
That's
tests,
true.
and charge 3 to 4 times
Yep.
what they would have been able to charge had she gone
is very
in
true.
as just a regular ill patient.
Yep.
And it would have been paid by her health insurance rather than her car insurance. And so those are some of the problems that create this artificially high car insurance in Michigan.
I really don't see the purpose of them having that mandatory when a person does have medical insurance, because now it's pretty much against the law not to have medical insurance now. So
Well, if the Republicans get their way, the Justice Department just announced last week that they were no longer going to fight for the mandate, and about 23 states have sued the
Why did I know
federal
you was gonna
government
bring that up?
to remove the mandate. Yeah, they just won't stop. They just won't.
So it's like, okay, so I'm required by law, otherwise have this horrible tax penalty at the end of the year. I'm required by law to have medical insurance. Okay, that's fine. So why do I also need to have this extra lump of insurance, budgeted into my car insurance? I mean, it shouldn't just be for, car insurance purposes, and it should be used as almost like, for representation in case, there's a conflict of the car accident.
People would argue that the car insurance should just pay for your car damages, and if you're damaged, your health insurance takes care of that. That's what a lot of people feel.
I think I don't see anything wrong with that. I do think that it would push people to be a little bit more responsible and take medical insurance as a priority, life insurance as a priority. I think that puts on, as a back burner. And so therefore, I think a lot of these car insurers have had to take on responsibilities of fatal car accidents or, permanent disability. And I think, a lot of the responsibility does need to be focused more on the human and not so much, on the consumer and not so much as on the businesses sometimes.
Now, the trial lawyers, on the other hand, will say that if you shift that burden to the health insurers,
Okay.
your health insurance premiums are going to go up because of the injuries sustained in the car accident. No longer will AAA pay, but now Blue Cross will be paying, and thus now Blue Cross will wind up raising their rates. So it's half a dozen in one, 6 on the other. If you get lower car insurance because you've got a cap on it, then the health insurance costs are going to go up.
There isn't like a cap on the health insurance as far as, isn't that the whole purpose of the Affordable Care Act, that the insurance shouldn't be surpassed like a certain percentage of your income? Is that no for your
Well,
household?
there can be a cap in terms of benefits that are paid out.
Oh,
So
there's
that
always a
that
catch.
isn't necessarily unlimited. It depends upon what plan you buy.
let's just move to Canada.
And then some people will tell you, well, you might have to wait 4 to 6 months for your surgery. I think the best place is probably Switzerland.
Yeah, okay.
Switzerland and
Switzerland.
Norway.
I was going to say, what about Denmark?
I haven't checked out Denmark.
I like Denmark. I actually considered Denmark before I decided to move back to Michigan. I'm
You
actually
like
a person.
cold weather.
I don't mind cold weather, and Because if I'm going to be dealing with weather versus these, always trying to think of a strategy to handle my monthly, responsibilities and budgets, yeah, I'll deal with the weather.
No, I can't. I can't do
I
cold
love
weather.
Denmark, and they are pro family and they're pro women there.
Are
So
they pro-black? Do they have
they
any
don't
black
have
people?
racial issues there.
Do they have racial? Do they have
They do have black people there.
multiracial people?
They don't have. I mean, you're not going to find a lot of Hispanics there.
Do you find a lot of black people there?
There are black people there. Yes, there are.
I
Just because it's a European country doesn't mean there aren't blacks there. I mean,
see.
stop it.
I should look this up while we go to break, but I'm going to look this up right now and find out how many black people live in Denmark. Does anybody know? 313-868-4336, 868-0342, and 868-0351. I'm looking this up
You
right
are
now.
actually looking
I
it
am.
up.
I am. Why not? This is a live show. Everybody know how I am. In fact, do I have my glasses? I need to lean over here.
Yeah, you might as well go on and put them at the tip of your nose.
That's right. Get my glasses out. Does anybody know how many black folks are in Denmark? Wait.
Oh, okay.
Let's see right here. This is the beauty of
The internet.
the internet.
Yes.
Now I need to find the demographics
Oh.
and see.
Is that Wikipedia?
Yeah, it's Wikipedia.
Untrustworthy.
Oh, really? Now Wikipedia is untrustworthy.
Untrusted source.
Well, do you know anybody in Denmark you could call right now?
Wikipedia told people to vote for Trump
What? Where did you get that from?
because it sure did leave out a lot of his negative factors. So people was looking up Trump and was like, "It doesn't say it here on Wikipedia."
Were
so
people even reading anymore? They don't read anymore. Demographics. Here we go.
It might have been on Amazon Audible.
No official statistics on ethnic groups.
Because it's not important to them.
It says approximately 87% of the population was of Danish descent. Duh. Defined as at least having one parent who was born in Denmark and has Danish citizenship. The remaining 13.1% were of a foreign background, defined as immigrants or descendants of recent immigrants. With the same definition, the most common countries of origin were Poland, Turkey, Germany, Iraq, Romania, Syria, Somalia. Somalia, there you go.
Germany.
Okay.
Germany.
Save me from this woman. Good afternoon. You're on the air. It's your turn with Cliff Woodards and Amber Netter.
Good afternoon.
How are
both
you?
of you. I want to say, concerning Denmark, there's a lot of black people there that's not saying that they are black.
Huh, that's true.
So I was going to say, probably don't know how many black people are there.
So what are they doing? Trying to pass?
Yep.
Right.
How do y'all know?
They are.
Because I do know of a family that moved there, and I remember them saying that there's a lot. They worded it like this: "There's many of us here." That's exactly how they worded it. But that was it, and they haven't moved back here since. And Germany is full of a black population. That is, do not think Germany is all white. No, it is not by far.
One question for Claire. Are you running for judgeship again this election?
I'm running for state rep
Oh, okay.
to go to
What
Lansing.
district?
So if you're in District 5, which is Fred... Oh,
I'm
you're not in
6.
District 5?
No, I'm in 6.
Oh.
Wonderful.
Well, if you know anybody in District 5, let them know.
Oh, okay.
Would you do that for me?
Yes, I will.
All
Happy
right.
Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You have a great rest of the weekend.
Okay, you too.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, I saw that they do have universal health care, too. But they also have the world's highest cancer rate.
Oh, cancer smancer. Ugh.
Well, they smoke a lot.
Yeah, well, I
is
don't
the
smoke.
problem. Okay.
Simple as that.
Well, you be around a lot of secondhand smoke.
Okay, I can choose. I have choices.
We're going to take a break. We're reaching the bottom of the half an hour. Bottom of the hour, rather. You're watching Your Turn with Cliff Woodards. We're live here in the studio, June 16th, 2018. You're watching us on Comcast 90 and 91, as well as digital TV 33 over the internet at tv33whpr.com, and on the app, whether you have it on Roku, your Google Play Store, or iTunes Store. Look for WHPR now and download it to any of those devices. We're going to come back right on the other side of this break and close out another great edition of Your Turn with Cliff Woodards with our special guest, Amber Netter, right after this.
What first sparked your curiosity? Drove you to learn more, to be better, to achieve things, and go places you couldn't have imagined before. At WCCCD, you can discover or rediscover your spark for learning and find your path to your best life. Want more? Start here. Register today.
And we're back. Welcome to Your Turn with Cliff Woodwards. We're right here at WHPR TV in Highland Park and Detroit. You're watching us on Comcast 9091, as well as over the internet at TV33WHPR.com and on our app, which you can find on your Roku device, your Amazon Fire Stick, or online at your Google Play Store, your iTunes Store. Just search for WHPR now. Download it to any of those devices. Take us along with you. And I didn't mention this at the top of the show, but and in fact, if you're just joining us, Amber Netter is my special guest. We got a caller on line one. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to get to you in a quick second. I want to remind you again that Your Turn with Cliff Woodwards is sponsored by the Detroit Law Center. For all of your legal needs, give the Detroit Law Center a call, 313-333-4975. We've also got a new sponsor in the house as well, Bon Appetit Catering.
Awesome.
You want to make sure that you check out Bon Appetit Catering.
Yes.
It was smelling good earlier.
I'm definitely
Took
gonna dip
Amber
in
back
for
there
that
to
shrimp.
the kitchen. Chef Sean is cooking it up for you right now. Reach out to him on Instagram. Just search for Bon Appetit Catering for all of your catering. And that really is a catering for one as well.
Oh.
1 to 100. You can get a plate anytime you want, and he will bring it to you. Personal catering service from Bon Appetit
And he has
Catering.
such a great
Welcome
attitude.
to Your Turn with Cliff
Yeah.
Woodwards. He does. He really
He
has a
does.
great attitude. You
He
know,
does.
we're gonna work on his older brother a little bit.
At least he had clean hands. You know, it's tough to get catering service from people who's got.
Well, I don't know.
Clean
I don't know if
hands.
Sean got clean hands.
I looked
though.
at his fingernails.
See, I was talking a whole other kind of clean
No, Bo.
hands. See, she a little slow this morning. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
I'm too innocent.
Anyway, we're going to move on from that. We're going to change topics in a second, but I do want to get to the call on line one. If you want to join this discussion, 313-868-4336, 868-0342, and 868-0351. Good afternoon. You're on the air. It's Your Turn with Cliff Woodwards and Amber Netter.
Hi, both of you. Just wanted to comment on that PIP insurance. I think it's a good thing because there's a lot of stuff that can happen to you, and auto accidents could be lifelong things.
Mm-hmm.
And just having health insurance, it'll cap out on you, and the PIP won't. Okay, some of this stuff, I mean, you could be a paraplegic or a quad, and you're hit if you don't have something to cover you from now on. And also, you could be an innocent person. Okay, I'm riding with you in the car, and you have a car accident. If we don't have PIP, I may not be covered, and I might not have car accident. I may not have health insurance. So if we have the PIP, if I'm driving along with you and you get in an accident, we all get hurt, I'll be covered. And also, it will replace my my wages or other things, my other costs. Okay, lost wages, and health insurance is not going to cover that. So that's why it's good to have it. I think we need to keep it.
Let me ask you,
bring the premiums down. Absolutely, we pay too goddamn much, and that's these insurance lobbyists and everything doing all this stuff. We can bring the price down for sure. But I think that PIP is a very good thing to have. And the reason I'm saying that, and I'm not taking a breath here because I know you get ready to move to another subject. But I'm a therapist and I work in the area, and I've seen how long-term injuries can be with people. I mean, it's very, very, very expensive. And your health insurance will cap out after a while. They're just not going to pay for you forever. Say if you got in a car accident at 12 years old and you're still 40 and you still need that assistance, they're not going to do it.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this before you
Sure.
go. Would you support choice though, to where if you wanted to buy unlimited coverage, but she only wanted 500,000 and I only wanted 250, would you support rewriting the law to give everybody choice?
If that choice didn't involve me, okay, say if one of these people with the limited insurance hit me and I won't be covered, then that's not fair to me if I got that 100,000 or the 10,000 policy, okay? And somebody else hits me that has a 5, then I won't get the benefits I need if they hit me. That's the problem. You know, the equity's got to be there.
Well, if your insurance is still unlimited, you bought the unlimited package.
Yeah.
I only have 100,000. Would you be supportive of changing the insurance law in Michigan to let me buy only 100, but you could still have the unlimited coverage if you wanted it?
Yeah, it's just a protection of choice.
Okay, but how does that, again, across the board, how does it affect somebody hitting me who has less coverage than I have, protecting me in my situation?
Well, your PIP will kick in once you're in a car accident versus what the other person involved in that accident would have. And like if Cliff hit me and he had 100,000 and then I had unlimited, whatever is going on with me and what needs to be covered, I'm covered according to my insurance, not according to what his limits are.
Right.
Well, from my understanding, you can buy insurance anyway like that. I mean, you could get the lowest coverage or the highest coverage, or the lowest deductible or the highest deductible. You already can do that.
That's the deductible. Are you talking about the deductible for?
Well, I'm talking about as far as coverage is concerned. You can buy, when you purchase your insurance, you could pay a certain amount. You could cover your car. Say if you got an old hoopty, you may not want to get the same amount of coverage on that old hoopty as a brand new Mercedes or something. I mean, you have a choice to purchase as much insurance as you want to, but we're talking about PIP now.
Yeah, but it's
Correct.
still high due to the PIP. It's still extremely high.
Well,
I mean, my
extremely
hoopty
high
here.
Anyway, the whole thing is, I'm sorry, I can't hear
Oh,
you.
no. Go ahead.
Okay, the whole thing is to get the insurance down, period. Because what you don't want to do to save a few bucks is to cut out what you might need in terms of coverage. Because I heard you say you never know when your turn is up in terms of getting hit. You could be riding your bicycle out there and get hit by a car, or you could hit somebody on a bike, you could hit a kid. You know, a lot of things can happen. And you want to have enough coverage to cover yourself in case of an accident like that.
Okay.
And a few bucks here or there is not going to help you when it really comes down to really needing this stuff.
Well, I totally agree with you, and that's why earlier I said that I do think that if this law goes into effect, I do feel like, you know, if it is becoming a choice, that I will hope that the consumer would be a little bit more responsible with, if you're not going to have unlimited PIP, please make sure that you are still covered somewhere for those just in case purposes. Like, be it Aflac or, you know, certain companies offer, you know, long-term disability, fatal, those types of coverages.
That you call yourself saving. You might as well just go and get it all in one package. Because that means you're going to have to buy additional health insurance or another something to cover it. So what's the point? I mean, you might as well just go ahead and pay it. What they need to do is just lower the whole goddamn thing because it's just too high.
No, we can agree on that.
That's exactly what we were saying for sure. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Good afternoon. You're on the air. It's your turn with Cliff Woodards and Amber Netter.
Oh, good afternoon to the both of you.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
While I do kind of understand what the young lady was speaking on, the last caller, my issue is, what do the other states do? You know, why do we have to be the only state that has this extra tip or whatever the name of it is? All the other states in these 52 states seem to get along without this, whatever it is.
When did you get two more states?
Through the nose.
When did
so
you get?
Whatever they're doing, we need to do it.
I just want to know when you got two.
Learn it in insurance.
Wait.
Why can't we have our own doggone insurance company?
Wait. Hold up. When did you get?
What's the problem with that?
Wait, hold on. When did you get two more states?
Well, whatever. I knew I was wrong. I just want to see if y'all was on your toes. But anyway. Hey,
I love her.
They about to divide California up, so I might as well add that on there. But anyhow.
Oh, that's good. That's a good comeback.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. But like I said, why can't we have our own insurance companies? Black folks, we know what they do. We know the ins and outs. We working in their companies day in and day
I
out.
agree.
Wait a
Why
minute.
doesn't somebody
Wait.
come up with
No,
a brainstorm
I
and say,
agree.
we're going to insure ourselves in the city of Detroit?
I
And we can
said
start
that.
by
You know what,
insuring
that's-
those that have no tickets,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
infractions, et cetera.
That's
so
an
I don't
excellent
understand why we
point.
keep trying to change a system that's not for us when we can we can develop our own system. Thank you.
Ma'am,
what's your
don't go
name?
nowhere. Wait, don't go
what's
nowhere.
Your name?
Man, are you still? She hung up. You need to call back. Hold
she
on.
needs to call
She
back.
be
I
talking
was-
about black folk on their insurance company.
Well, we know.
Detroit has 7,000 Coney Islands. We can't even own one of them.
Okay, first off, what you're
What?
not going to do is you will not go in on my Coney Island. It takes 7 long years for me to move back to the States so I can get some good food. And what you're not going to do is go in on Coney Island. Now, the main one that needs to stay open is Lafayette and Michigan Avenue. However, you're not
No,
going to go. Yes.
American.
Okay, first of all, I don't like American Coney Island. I need Lafayette.
American is the one.
Lafayette
American.
is the one.
We'll have a whole
Lafayette.
show and debate
This is
which
like
is
the
the better
man that
Coney
wants
Island.
to say that gyros are better than any spot. A corner gyro spot is better than Bucharest. We all know it's not true.
It's actually gyro, so she don't even know that.
But that's what they
Good
call it. It's
afternoon.
gyro. That's the point.
You're on the air. It's your
Hi,
turn.
Cliff.
With
Just wanted to inform
Oh, you back.
the former caller
Uh-huh.
that there are
Yes.
many states that require PIP. Delaware, Florida, Hawaii, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, North Dakota, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Utah. It's a bunch of them.
To have what?
Tennessee is not on there.
Who was that on there?
Tennessee.
No, Tennessee's not one.
That's because we have, I lived there long enough that I can say we. There's an option. You have to show proof that you have medical coverage, and the medical coverage there's a certain type of like clause that you can elect where it supplements in case you have some sort of car accident or something that happens while you're bicycling or anytime you're in motion or doing some sort of activity, including car accidents. It protects you. So you have the opportunity to option out or lower the PIP there. They do have PIP, but it's not required that you have to have unlimited. But it is required that you have to show proof that you have something else that it will back you up. So that's kind of like how they do it there, which is why I said I think that people should have the opportunity to choose, especially if they have other stuff that covers them.
Well, that's great for the people who can afford to have the other stuff that covers it. But we got a lot of people running around here with no health insurance, even in the advent of Obamacare. There's people that don't have it.
Still don't have it.
They can't afford anything really to cover their families and themselves like they should. In an ideal world, that would be great. But let's face it. I mean, we're in Detroit, one of the poorest cities in the country. And it's a lot of people that can't pay their water bills and all kinds of other stuff going on here. And they're working minimum wage jobs. They don't have good health insurance, if any.
Let me ask you a question as I begin this transition. And the rest of you who are watching and listening, call in, because this is going to be sort of an informal poll. 313-868-4336, 868-0342, and 868-0351. Ma'am, how many pieces of literature have you gotten from Sri Thanadar in the last 10 days?
Who?
The Indian guy, the little cute
That's
Indian guy that's running for governor. Sri Thanadar.
Did you say
Probably
cute?
about one or two, I guess.
Okay. And have you gotten any literature from him?
I fortunately only have gotten his commercials.
Okay. I have gotten 3 pieces of mail and a door knocker card in the last week and a half.
Where is he targeting? Because I live in Oakland County.
I don't
North
know if
Oakland
he's
County,
mailing,
so I wonder
but
if
then
there's certain
again,
targets.
you weren't here last year to vote, were you?
No.
So you probably won't get any.
Okay, gotcha.
But the rest of you listeners and callers, I want you to call in and tell me, have you been inundated with mail from Sri Thanadar? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. My question is, where is Gretchen Whitmer?
Who's great?
Have you gotten any mail from Gretchen Whitmer at all?
Oh, is that
I have.
You have?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I haven't seen anything from her, and people are beginning to now whisper, is she really taking the campaign seriously? Sri Thanadar, as Amber just mentioned, she's seen his commercials. His commercials have been...
I've seen both of them. Saw a couple with Gretchen Whitmer few days ago.
Yeah, I did.
She's
And
finally
I've
got
seen
commercials
the
running?
other
I've
guys
seen
way
only one
back around
commercial.
April or March
Yeah.
or something.
Okay, so
I've
she
seen-
does have commercials on
Yes.
now.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does some out now.
I've seen one for sure. I can say
Yeah.
if I'm thinking of the same person, is she
Yeah.
Caucasian with like
Dark
kinda,
hair.
Yep,
Yeah.
brunette hair. Yes, I've seen one commercial. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wondered that because, you know, the AVs go out this coming Friday and Saturday.
Well, that's terrible because I couldn't even remember what her name is, but I know who Shreeth is.
And that's the point that I'm making with this audience is a lot of people, voters, regular intelligent voters, and Amber too, don't necessarily know who Gretchen, who Gretchen is,
Let
seriously
that
though,
shade
who
slide.
don't know who Gretchen Whitmer is because
true.
she's been going to community meetings and having fundraisers and going to small groups. But in this day and age of instant communication, television, YouTube,
It's not as active.
Facebook, Instagram, I haven't seen her as much as I've seen him.
You know, and come to think of it, I thought about this the other day. I was watching Fox 2 News. I think it was like last week, and they were covering some sort of like it was almost like a town hall meeting in Mackinac.
Oh, the policy conference.
The policy conference, and Shree was there and made his presence known. And I was like, oh look, that's him live
But
in
she
person.
was there too.
But I did not see her.
And that's what I'm getting at. Ma'am, let me ask you,
Sure.
are you going to vote absentee or are you going to wait till August?
Oh, I'll wait till August.
Okay. What are some of the things, or the factors that you're looking for in your next governor? What's important to you?
Well, first off, I definitely want the water and Flint corrected.
Okay.
The other thing is I want our schools dealt with on a more equitable basis. I'm sick and tired of our kids being in buildings built in 1916 or something like that. We need to have our schools on par with all the other schools in Michigan. The third thing is I would love for them to fix these damn roads. I am sick of it. Okay, out riding over all these potholes and tearing my car up and all that kind of stuff. Those are definitely three, and there are many, many more, but I don't want to take up all your time listing them all. But I will say those would be my three priorities. The Flint water, and the water here, period, okay? Because our water is not the best either right now, I understand. And to get the schools together, and also to, fix our roads. And we definitely, in the Detroit area, we have a serious crime rate, and that needs to be dealt with, too. We need more police enforcement and that kind of thing.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.
What do you think about some of the things that like her priorities of her next governor vote? What do you think about things that she mentioned that matter most to her?
Well, I started to tease her when she said she wanted the Flint water fixed.
I can't.
I started to ask her, well,
I had shade
are
on
you
that.
are you considering Bill Schuette? Because no, seriously, because Bill Schuette will make a credible argument that he's the only person, the only politician in the state that actually sent somebody to jail. Well, actually, I don't know if they've gone to jail yet, but he actually charged some people in terms of that Flint wrongdoing. He went after them. He charged them with crimes. So he can make a case that he was the politician that did something about it.
Okay, so who exactly did he put behind the bars?
That's why I said I'm not sure if they've gone to jail. I know that some
Well,
have pled
who was
guilty.
charged?
I got to look that.
Because I want to know what part did they play.
They were administrators in Michigan Department of Environmental Quality.
Okay.
Let's get back to the phone lines. They're beginning to blow up. 313-868-4336, 868-0342, and 868-0351. I mentioned Bill Schuette's name, and all of a sudden
Here we go.
everybody started calling.
Everyone
Good
in
afternoon. You're on the
America.
air. It's your turn with Cliff Wooders.
This is me calling again. My name is Pat.
Okay,
Oh,
Pat.
hi, Miss Pat.
How you doing?
Okay.
Good.
Oh, first of all, I am not voting for Bill Schuette.
I didn't ask you to vote
We
for
didn't
Bill
say that.
Schuette.
We didn't say that.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
We didn't say that.
The heck with
about to
who
get in
Bill
trouble,
Schuette
Bud.
charged with the water. He didn't charge the true culprit, and that's Rick Snyder.
That's what I was saying. Who did he charge? Miss Pat, you heard me ask the question because I'm like, well, I want to know exactly who did he charge.
The culprit is Rick Snyder.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, why y'all pick me up? I did not say this is
Because-
not a vote for Bill Shooty sign.
you
This
know-
is vote for Cliff Woodard. This got nothing to do
Because
with
if
Bill.
he really wants to use that type of an argument, you know,
Oh, she hung up. She said her
she,
2 words.
She
and
believes in
hung
doing
up.
that. Boy, she get her point across and hang up.
I guess so. Let me get to these other callers. Good afternoon. You're on the air. It's your turn with Cliff Woodards.
Cliff,
Yes.
Cliff, I
Yes.
want you to know I haven't received anything from that lady. I've never heard of her before.
Oh.
Heard of Shree?
No, Gretchen Whitmer.
Oh, Gretchen.
I've gotten 2 things from. I've gotten 2 things from Shree. I haven't gotten anything from any lady. Period.
Well, what do you think of Shree?
Did you hear Amber? She said, "What do you think of Shree?"
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I think he has. I think what he's led
He's
with
okay,
as
but
far
I
as
got no-
putting the money into public school systems in Detroit and you know taking out the for-profit charter schools. To me, that's a huge huge situation. And then he mentioned the roads.
They need a whole lot of stuff in
mean-
Detroit. My granddaughter went to school and she just graduated in Kentucky because they don't have music in the Detroit public schools. They took the music out of her school.
Yep.
They don't have no art. They don't have anything. They don't have no home economics.
No.
They don't have anything for these children.
It's really sad. And then they want to know why is the crime rate the way that it is.
Wait, hold on. And see, this is where I'm going to get in trouble with a lot of voters because I'm going to tell the truth.
You might get in trouble with me.
You can't even vote for me. The last part on my kicker card says, as a proud Cass
But
Tech
tell the lady I
grad,
would like to see her card. I haven't gotten a lady card from her.
Okay.
Many women.
I said, as a proud Cass Tech grad, I'll make sure that DPSCD has the funding it needs, but I'll also work in conjunction with Dr. Vitti and his excellent team, because money don't matter if mama don't care. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. You're talking about how they don't have music and art in these schools. My response to you is they don't have it because the parents don't demand it. How many parents bond together in PTA meetings, in parent-teacher conferences, in resource groups, and go to these meetings and demand that these extracurricular activities be put back in these schools? A lot of these parents simply just send the kid off to school and,
We did that for Schultz.
I agree,
We
but
did that for Schultz. Because I live right across the street from Schultz, and they didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I have to agree with her on that. I do believe that there have been plenty of parents. One I know for a fact. I do know a few families that live in the city of Detroit, and they have definitely done their part from what I have learned as far as a lot of the PTA meetings and school board meetings and things like that to try to fight for their school system. But I don't think that it's fair to pin that responsibility on the parents. I'm not going to say that they're not at fault, but I'm saying what's left of the residents of city of Detroit, because let's just be honest, it's the population is not where it used to be.
No, it's not.
It has declined
That's what they
tremendously,
used to be.
and a lot of those people have
I
left,
think
and
they
they've
just
ended
give
up
it
in
a check.
Inkster, Dearborn Heights, Romulus, Taylor, Wayne, and Westland Garden City. And just a second, what I am saying is that if we're in the process of redeveloping the city, I think education does need to be redeveloped. That does need to be something that, regardless of not enough parents are at the PTA meeting, I don't think you're going to be able to change those parents that are left over there.
You're not, and that's the whole point. Pershing High School last week had its graduation.
Oh God, those numbers were scary.
You saw that?
Yes.
74. They only. It's not a big school anyway. With about 400 kids. 400 kids went to Pershing.
Used to go to show. She didn't go to high school here because they don't have anything to offer.
Okay.
And we had to go to Kentucky.
All right. Thank you. The thing is,
Kentucky.
Pershing
Yes.
has about 400 total students. There were
does.
74 children that were seniors.
Yes.
Only 48 of them graduated, and of those 48, I think it was something like 23 were allowed to walk, even though they didn't have the credits.
And they still had to do
Right,
extra
they had to go
schooling
back
this
to-
summer.
But even if they did, that's 63% of the senior class graduated. That's ridiculous. Almost 4 out of 10 didn't graduate from Pershing.
But let's be very clear. A lot of those students, they come from homes that there's nothing to offer, and they don't always know what's actually available.
That's a bunch
to them.
of crap.
I don't believe that.
Let me tell you why.
I believe that I believe the children are a product of their environment, and sometimes.
My mother and her 2 brothers
Okay.
were raised by a man and his wife who didn't get past the 5th grade.
Okay.
You go back to that generation.
Yes.
All of those older black folk in the South
Yes.
never got to high school, but
I
they
agree.
made
Yes.
sure
Yep.
that their kids not only went to high school, graduated high school, but in my parents, in her siblings' case, they went to college.
What era of time was
Why
that?
should that have to change?
It does change.
Why?
It changes tremendously. Obviously, we have Trump in office. It tells you
That's
that it
got
changes.
nothing to do with
Oh,
Trump. Black
God.
people
It
ain't
does-
got nothing to do.
No,
Let me get to
black
these last 2
people has
calls
nothing to do
before we
with
get out
Trump,
of
but
here.
the time of the cause, yes, it does.
Good afternoon. You're on the air at Your Turn with Cliff Woodwards and Amber Netter, who clearly is going to have to come back.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's not forget that the state defunded Detroit public schools. They
First.
misappropriated the funds when we had $100 million surplus and a $1+ billion budget. They swooped in, misappropriated our funds.
Yes.
So, of course, our education system ended up
It's
sucking.
such
We didn't
been.
have funds
Preach
to
my
keep up with
point,
the
ma'am.
other
Preach my
urban
point.
schools.
Our
Let's get to the
graduation-
root of the
our
problem, not the
graduation
parents.
rate
You can't
sucked
tell a district
then.
without any money. Thank you and goodbye.
Oh,
Yeah. The state took the money, but the graduation rate sucked then. It still did.
but what I'm saying is you're making an argument based on when the city, those rates were coming when people were actually still attending those schools, when DPS still had a good amount of residents attending. We don't have half the population as what we did then. So to redevelop now, you're in a better position to redevelop the school structure now.
My mother went to school in a school that almost was, instead of a 1-room schoolhouse, it might have had 4. Okay. Mobile County Training School back in the late 40s.
Okay.
They ain't had no money to educate those black kids. The state didn't want to give those black kids any money way back then. But now all of a sudden we got to rely on the state to take care of us. We got to have money from the state to educate our kids. The state didn't want our parents and grandparents to have money back in the 40s, but they did it. Why can't we do that now? Good afternoon. You're on the air at Your Turn with Cliff Woodwards and Amber Netter.
Yes. I want to say about the public schools.
Yes.
Another problem is the grandparents, the grandmothers raising these grandchildren. All
Yeah.
they do most of the time is send children to school, and that's it. And the ones that might want to participate in the PTA meetings, they can barely get around to get there to go to the PTA meetings, and after school activity, they can't get involved in that. That's a big problem, these grandparents. And when I expect from the governor, the next governor, I want the revenue sharing to come back to Detroit. I want to get rid of all these authorities here in this city. And I want the city income tax to come back to the city of Detroit, not be controlled by the state.
All right. Thank you
you.
very much. Before I get out of here,
Parents are raising a baby.
that's
That's
true.
true.
It's true.
That's true.
Before I get out of here, I want you to know that the absentee ballots will go out next weekend. You'll get them before I go on the air next week, but I want all of you District 5 residents to know if you don't get this piece of literature in the mail, you'll get it through the house. I'm going to walk the neighborhoods. I'm going to come to meet you. But if you miss it, this is what I want you to know. I've been practicing criminal law for more than 15 years in the community, and I know more than anyone the effect crime has had on you and your neighbors. We need a representative in Lansing who can write laws that make sense. I've represented thousands who can't afford car insurance. We need a representative in Lansing who will fight to make premiums affordable for everyone. I drive on the same cratered roads you do every day. No major city should have a pothole list plastered on the internet. It's embarrassing. We need a representative who will ensure that your roads are consistently repaired, not your car. As a proud Cass Tech grad, I'll make sure that DPSCD has the funding it needs, but I'll also work in conjunction with Dr. Vitti and his excellent team because money don't matter if mama don't care. Vote for Cliff Woodard's District 5 representative in your AV ballot, and again on August 7th. Amber, I want to thank you so much for coming in. You got to come back.
I love to come back.
This was, I haven't had this much fun friction in a while, so I think we're going to have her back quite often.
I'm telling you, those grandparents is not about to vote for you in District 5.
They're going to vote for him. They're going to vote for him. Mainly because that's why this show has always been called Your Turn. And RJ's telling me I got to wrap up. You've had your turn here on the show. You'll have your voice in Lansing. I want to thank each and every one of you, the audience, for your participation, whether it's by call, comment, suggestion, thought, opinion, and sometimes even criticism. Without your voice, it wouldn't be Your Turn with Cliff Woodwards.
Yes.
Also want to thank R.J. Watkins Jr. for producing this show and telling me to shut up. We've got to get out of here. Thanking R.J. Watkins Sr. for giving me this opportunity. I'll see you back here next Saturday. As I always say, if the good Lord is willing,
Yes,
and
Jesus.
the creek don't rise. That's a wrap, R.J. Take us on out of here.